good afternoon, Manchester, New Hampshire, and all the surrounding areas. My guest will be coming on, I believe, at 4:30, and she's running a little late because she has her own show. My friend Cami Baker, she's a very motivated lady, and she can vote us on. And John Hopwood will be right back. He's gonna put money in the meter there to make sure that the city makes their money. I'm not in favor of parking meters on Down Street, Elm Street. I'm really not. I think, they get your parking garages, they got all of this and that, but I have never ever been in favor of having parking meters in the city because to me that drives away a lot of the people. And then when you do, your time runs out and you have to move the car. Even if you want to put more money in, you'll have to move it. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just not in favor of it, okay? I'm wearing my beautiful little tie that my very, very good friend Suzanne gave me, and I have this, So, folks, are you blessed today? When you look around, are you blessed? I hope so. Because I don't hope so. I know so because if we could walk, talk, or whatever, we are truly blessed. And I'm inviting a lot of people to come on and be co-hosts with me or just be a guest, I have a lot of openings coming up in March. And if you just want to come in and do a reading with us, come in, sit down, and we'll do what we can to help you, okay? Remember, there is no loser. Remember, every day you're a winner. Even if you may not win in the political field or whatever, you're not losing. You're only building up more momentum for yourself and to learn how to do a different way of winning, One of the strong points in this country is we've got to work to be harder and to be winners in whatever we do. Okay? Be strong for you. Once again, I want to thank people for all the prayers that they sent to us for my daughter-in-law. She's doing really well. And I ask for prayer for everybody who is having some. What over here, John?
Oh, over there.
Co-host, John. Co-host.
Okay.
We have a hot-looking broad coming in later.
Oh, geez.
Cami Baker.
I'll have to go to Matt and then come back at 5.
There you go. But here's my very good friend, John Hopwood. John Hopwood and I at one time didn't always agree on things. But, wouldn't it be boring if we agreed on everything?
I don't know. I was talking to a woman that I love, but it's not one of those things.
Yeah.
Although
A good friend.
maybe if everything was like the Garden of Eden, but
What is the Garden of Eden?
Well, it's a fiction that was created from myths from 10,000 years old. That's according to the actual gloss in the Bible from the Catholic Church in the 1950s. But I guess Eden is different from everybody, huh?
Yeah.
For my father, it was Litchfield when he was a boy in 1920s and 1930s. Then the Depression, they lost their connection. They used to be called the Hopwood lands.
Yeah. I call and you go into a market, like the market back, and you see all these sweets here, all this candy and all this stuff. I call that the Garden of Eden.
Not for me anymore. With my teeth, they were in full rebellion.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I find it very interesting with these people, and I'm not saying everybody. So
These chairs. This is a hard chair.
Okay.
Hard on anybody with a history of hemorrhoids.
I was just going to say that. See,
I'm going to bring in a padded cushion.
Are these going to be here permanently?
No, I think they're going to have something else, but they want something so we don't move around like we always do.
That takes the fun away.
Yeah, but
I know the cameraman has a lot to do with it, Yeah. But I'm still very fortunate to be having a TV show here. That's one thing that hasn't been taken away from us yet.
Oh, yeah, we never know.
Not said yet,
Well, the FCC's changing the rules so that, cable companies never wanted community television because they consider this their property.
Yeah.
Where the FCC's ruled that they can charge back the city the value of the bandwidth. So in Massachusetts and Vermont and Maine, they're already anticipating that they're going to lose funding. So they're trying to come up with ways to fund community TV.
Yeah. Well, when we first started out over on Commercial Street,
Right.
we used to have our own sponsors.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and I had like 4 sponsors, and if people want to, like, I will give Glenn a lot of credit. it hurts me, but I will give Glenn a lot of credit. He helped with raise funds for the station down there. I had a couple of psychic events down there to raise funds for
Yeah.
the thing. You know, if you
And
really are interested in it, you don't get sponsors.
well, that would be a good way of finding out what show's popular because we have no ratings.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. Do you want ratings?
Well, you'd want to know what's going on. The
Yeah.
only show that anybody ever knew was really popular was Amsterdam, which was a particular type of show.
They went different.
And it would always come in runner-up for the best TV show. Fitz Weatherby would always come in first.
Yeah,
which was-
through the hippo.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked them. I remember when they were doing all that stuff, and I said, "How many shows did you interview people on?" And they said, "Oh, we only had certain ones." I said that. So you already made up your mind before you even did the poll taking. I did.
Oh, you mean the hippo?
Yeah, I've actually been interviewed twice by the hippo. Once at the studio and once in the person. And
I don't
that
read
guy
the
that,
Hippo anymore.
Me either. I think it's good.
It's not about. It's nothing really local anymore.
No.
They got rid of local news and political coverage like 5 or 6 years ago.
When I was being interviewed by a guy, he called me a short, fat man with a lot of rings. I was quite upset. First of all,
I've been called worse.
Yeah, as long as they don't call me too late for dinner, you know, that's when I.
Oh, the union leader is awful.
Oh, you know, I really believe that William Loeb and Naki when they turning over, they must be turning over in their graves.
Well, after he croaked, the paper actually got much better because Naki was the scripts.
Yeah.
And I was surprised because I wasn't here, but I'd come back to see my mother, and the paper was actually good. But then she died, and it's just, I don't even see how it's alive.
I don't either. Well, they're hurting. I caught my reading material in the bathroom.
I wouldn't even take it into the bathroom.
And the birds won't even use it, and you put it in a bird cage, you know.
I have lined a bird cage with it. I had a problem with flying squirrels several years ago, so it came in handy. I borrowed somebody's union leader. But,
you know.
I don't know what the union leader even
Now,
is
this
about.
guy that was on with you, isn't he a spiritual person?
Mike Martineau?
Yeah.
No.
Martinez?
Martineau.
Martineau, yeah.
Mike is
Yeah, he's a coach.
Mike is developmentally challenged, but he overcame that and became like assistant coaches on teams, and he's led quite a successful life.
You know, see, doesn't it show you that everybody, you know, no matter what you have, any challenge that you have in life, you can overcome them if you want to try hard enough.
I don't know if everything can be overcome. Because some things are very horrible.
But you
and
know
it depends on what you mean overcome. Survive.
survival.
These chairs just not like the other.
No,
I'm gonna
I
throw
know,
your
I
arm.
can't
I'll
rock
throw my arm out too.
I know, I can't rock
I have
back and
bursitis.
forth. Yeah. I bet, I'm sure the kid mentioned about time, because you know me, but no, I mean,
bring a
like, if someone
hacksaw and cut the back
has the mental capacity to work with it. I don't mean that people that are in, like, a vegetarian state or.
Well, I mean, some things are so horrible. Like, I've seen people with combat PTSD make progress with the right therapist and the right therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
But like victims of women victims of like childhood sexual abuse and that's equivalent to combat PTSD, and it's horrible what
But
they
if they want to
struggle
get
through.
better, you know, it's up to them.
That's true, but it's a long journey to find out that it is up to you.
Now, when men are sexually abused, and I was, by male and female, you never hear about that because I think men are too embarrassed.
Well, Asia Argento, who's an Italian actress, who's part of the Me Too movement. I think she's the first person that accused Harvey Weinstein, who's a notorious pig, you know. When I was in Hollywood, and I was covered, sexual harassment was it was allowed. You know, they would never crack down on it because that's a $10 billion a year industry at the time. It's probably even more now, but she had slept with a 17-year-old boy who was 7 years old. He was in a movie. And they used that to try to discredit her. But I think in that type of situation, I don't... I don't like if I had a crush on Julie Christie after seeing Dr. Zhivago, because they used to re-release movies for years afterwards. And, I don't mean to be flippant or anything, But, you know, it was like a young 17-year, 16 dream to, you know,
To go out with an
actually
older
sleep
woman.
with him.
Yeah, it was
Even
a
though you
dream come true.
wouldn't even know what you were
my
doing.
God, yeah. I went out with this older woman. Oh my God, you know.
And he went after her for $380,000, settled for $380,000.
I
But,
see that guy, and I just want to walk over and smack him
Well,
in the
that's
face.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
He was a very powerful producer, you know.
Isn't it amazing how much power that people get, money and whatever, you know, power that can talk, money talks. Do you see where they're investigating, what's his name, Harry, that's no longer connected with the royal...
Oh, you mean Prince Edward?
Prince Edward, yeah.
Oh, he was associated with Epstein.
Yeah.
That was
that's why they got rid
14,
of him.
15 years ago. No, Harry is a grandson.
Right.
Edward is a son, and he was with Epstein. And that was a huge story 15 years ago, but because Bill Clinton was involved, I don't think they actually went into it that much.
I don't, you know...
In the United States. It was a big story in the UK.
Yeah. One of the things that, you know, substance abuse is really the prevalent. It really is. And it's, you know, it's these idiots, they deserve, if they are doing the Facebook and the camcorder or the phone to taking pictures or all this stuff, they deserve to get caught.
Well, Epstein had cameras in his mansion and everything. They say he might have been blackmailing people. Then the court records say that he claimed that he was a espionage agent.
Yeah.
But, you know, the fact is he was cavorting with powerful people. And remember in 1963, the Profumo scandal, he was the Minister of Defense, and he got caught with a call girl who was being controlled by a Soviet agent. And that took down that government. You know, the conservatives lost the next election.
Well, I had a former, she was a guest on my show, and then she became then she had her own show.
So you're going to say call girl.
Yeah, and she was like 15, and she told a story about how she brought down in Wisconsin, how she brought down a state legislator because of it, you know. And
one of the
people are callous, you know.
One of the things in Europe, movie stars go to Europe for many reasons. Well, I'm just going to say movie star. I know of a movie star that went to an international film festival in Tbilisi, Georgia, which is an absolute hole. You know what I mean? Yeah. Who would go to such a thing? It's got a wide open drug market, and he was a drug addict. I'll tell you who he was later, but you know he was a well-known movie actor. Well, but if you go to Europe where the age of consent is 16, you'd always see those actors at the fashion shows, you know, the runways. They're not there, you know, to look at dresses and stuff. They're looking at those young models who are 16 or 17, and they bed them down, which in Europe, once again, it's 16 years old.
Well, I had a person that I knew, he's no longer around, he's in another state, but he would brag about how he would go to Japan and China, and he would have these 13 and 14-year-old girls that would be taking care of him as a housekeeper, maid, or whatever. When I found, I couldn't talk to him after that.
Yeah, I know. You wonder what.
I don't see the thrill in it.
Yeah, since you know, women in the 30s are quite beautiful.
Yeah.
No, Bill Clinton, I don't think ever did that because too many people I've known have known Bill Clinton, have told me stories about him. And he's like, well, like Richard Burton, they said, and Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner just didn't do with his playmates. They would sleep with any woman.
Oh, yeah.
And because Gay Talese wrote My Neighbor's Wife. He was a great journalist, and he made so much money, he never wrote again. And they never made a movie or anything out of it. But he one of the people he followed was Hefner, and Hefner gave him his... He gave him his, gave him his notebook, which he wrote down all his conquests, which was like 4,000 or something. And it was just like, you know, the middle-aged secretary, he slept with her too, you know.
He was a hero.
They're womanizers. A womanizer is somebody, like they said about Richard Burton, they usually are dependent on a woman early in their life. They're either sick or something. So they have this real attachment, idealized view of women. Or somebody like Warren Beatty, they said just like, you know, he'd drive any girlfriend crazy because he's always after women. And like Bill, people tell me women would just fall into his arms. They just found him a sex pot. And when Maggie Hass was running for governor, he was there at an event that was in 2012, And all the women were looking at him like it's 1958,
He's a
and he's
god.
Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
You know, you see pictures of it, and old women are looking at Elvis.
And-
Or they look at JFK, you know, that famous picture after he won the presidency. He went for a swim in Palm Beach. He comes out, all the women, every age, are just looking at him like he's a god.
Right.
And, yeah, but Bill Clinton, all the women were looking at him. And the men were looking at him in awe, too. And Billy Graham said about him during the his impeachment thing, says, oh, all the women want to sleep with him, and even the men do, too. And this is
Yeah.
Billy Graham. And Maggie Hassan looked at him like he'd jump into his arms or something. He was an incredibly charming person. It doesn't matter how, because to me he looks like W.C. Fields was his grandfather or something. But that's not, you know.
Yeah. You know.
Everybody heard that's have to be Cary Grant, right?
You know.
That's Cary Grant.
You know the sad part. Sex sells.
Well, yeah, everybody. That is the number one thing: reproduction.
Back 30 years ago, or 25 years ago, before I got sober, I used to write books.
Naughty books.
Oh,
They used to call them DBs, dirty
right.
books.
And the raunchier they were, the more money I made.
Yeah,
I was very sick into writing, believe me. But you know, and then also
yeah, they used to publish them at stores and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Because people don't realize that are under like my age, or even I'm 60, that you couldn't read Tropic of Cancer, anything by Henry Miller till 1961.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I wrote them, I can remember I had regular clients that would come in. You know, I didn't put it on the advertising and all that stuff, but. And when I was and the stories that I wrote were just even I started vomiting. Then I said, wait a minute. What the hell am I doing?
The
This
Olympia
isn't
Press
real.
in Paris used to publish those books.
yeah.
And they would look for them if you came back. They'd look at your books if you
Yeah.
came into the United States.
And it's ridiculous how people, it sells. It shouldn't, but it should. But
I used to make money writing jokes for Hustler. And Jeff Cassell actually sold a cartoon to Hustler. And somebody I know, not in the state of New Hampshire, who ran for Congress in another state, he wrote dirty limericks for Larry Flint. Because I knew the humor editor at Larry Flint Enterprises. And, you know, if I looked at a copy of Hustler, I would vomit. It was so disgusting. So
Everybody, you know,
disgusting. But it paid money, you know.
Yeah, and-
that was my beer, my Scotch money,
There
really.
you go. Mine was Canadian Club of Martinis. You know.
I like
But,
single malt Scotch.
you know, no woman, no man should be treated like a sex object, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you know, here's
If they want to, that's up to them.
here's the thing. First of all, everybody is a sex object in some way because of just the bestial nature of the human being, and everything's trying to reproduce. And when you get to actresses and actors, they are selling sex.
Yeah.
It's the famous thing about if Marilyn Monroe, which has been a feminist icon all my life since the 70s, where she was destroyed by men. If Marilyn Monroe didn't have what biologists say is like a perfect figure that suggests reproduction. I know, you know, her behind
Right.
and her breasts.
She wouldn't be.
She represents. They say that if they do it in a computer, that is the perfect. The first, I hate to say this, but the first time I ever, you know, let's say felt myself attracted, I was just a boy and I was watching. I realized much later it was Some Like It Hot,
Yeah.
where she's she's backing out of a upper berth and a railroad, the sleeper car, and you know that's her caboose. And here I am, like 7 or 8 years old. It's like, you know, and I remember, you know, you try to be politically correct. Because I went to a left-wing university. Howard Zinn, left-winger, was my, you know. But I remember we were watching John Huston gave Marilyn Monroe her first significant role in the Asphalt Jungle. And there's a story that he took a pictures of women and told up the crew, who would you like to expletive deleted? He said, oh, Marilyn. And he makes, because her husband, Arthur Miller, wrote the screenplay of, what's that great movie that they made?
Hot on a Tin Roof?
No, it's the last movie Clark Gable's in, where he's a cowboy and that. Oh, what's it called?
If anybody knows, give us a call.
Geez, I know that, but the thing is, I remember I was watching it with a friend. Here I am. I was the president of my student government on the student party and all that. And I'm thinking, look at that camera angle. It's right on her behind while she's, we didn't use that word, while she's on the horse. And he says, well, I noticed that you're checking it out.
Yeah, you know.
But see, right now in Variety, which is the Bible of Hollywood, last week they had, I still read it, they had an article where feminist filmmakers, they're going to defeat the sexist male gaze, which, movies are sexist because, they have all these things about women. But when you think about it, what I'm thinking about is I remember before when I was 10 years old, until I was 10 years old, there was no nudity in movies. There's no violence. There's no anything. So everything's innuendo. And that would drive people crazy too,
I love watching the old-fashioned Westerns.
Oh, yeah, well, everything. Miss Kitty, Gunsmoke.
Oh, yeah,
it's not until
I
I'm like a teenager, even then, that I realized, well, she's a prostitute. Yeah. Dance hall girls, And in the novel of From Here to Eternity, she's a whore. That's what they call her. But she's a hostess. Yeah. You don't know what that is when you're 10 years old and everything. But so in the 60s and 70s, all that nudity and everything, supposedly liberating. Remember Jane Fonda would take her clothes off? Yeah. She used to go to France, and she made movies in France. She was always taking her clothes off. That Mad Magazine was that boy made fun of her.
I loved her on Golden Pond.
Yeah, but that's later on. Yeah. Oh, you got a call coming in.
Yeah. Hello, North Community Corner.
I'm gonna find that movie.
Hi, Norm.
Hey.
Jim.
Hey,
Watching
Jim.
the show.
Thank you.
What's the movie called, Jim?
The movie is The Misfits.
Right. What a great movie.
Yeah.
So The Misfits was Gable's last movie. With
Monty Clift was in it, and Eli Wallach.
Monty Clift, yeah. Marilyn Monroe. The Misfits.
Oh, you got your show on. You got to turn your TV down. We can hear it in the back.
Yeah.
You're going to distract you. Yeah, there's a story that Marilyn Monroe didn't believe that Monty Clift was gay, so she tried to seduce him. Well, she found out soon.
Yeah. That was a nice movie, though. Remember, they wanted to brand and capture horses, and she thought it was brutal. And
yeah, the Mustangs, yeah.
She supposedly was late for every rehearsal and basically stressed out Gable to the point that he had a heart attack.
Well, Miller, before he died, actually wrote a play about that, and there's a woman in a bed that never gets out of bed.
Oh, here comes that hot, sexy blonde bomber.
Yeah. Remember when she was dancing in the bar?
Oh,
shaking around like that?
Yeah.
The guys were touching her and everything, and
well, they didn't touch her. They wanted to. Oh, you're talking about...
Who was the older guy? Was that Eli Wallach? Was he the character actor?
Yeah, he's the guy to do the plane. You're thinking about when they're in the saloon, remember? And the boy gets
the
drunk.
Cantina, the saloon.
Right, and they have the ping pong. And then somebody touches her. Yeah, that was a great movie, but, Marilyn Monroe, I remember as a boy,
And, she wasn't as stupid as people thought she was.
I don't know, but...
Oh, no, that's true. She was just extremely sensitive.
Any comments about Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe was very voluptuous, and she was not a size 4. She was like a 12 or 14.
She was tiny, though. I've seen her dress at one of the... she was like 5'3" or 4. You're shocked by how small it is. But then if you...
All right, I guess I better let you go. You got guests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye now. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. We are here with a hot... We are here... I think I'm going to go straight.
You were once.
That every time he sees
Every
me.
time she comes on, I think I want to go straight.
What about Jenny B? Did she make you want to go straight?
No.
Oh, okay.
But, she has such energy. I'm here when Cami Baker's on, and she has what's the name of the book?
Mingle to Millions.
Mingle to Millions. And, folks, I would definitely encourage you to read the book. Go to any of her lectures, because you know what? I watch you, by the way, every once in a while on my show, and I have got a lot of energy from your show.
You've told me that. You told me something really intimate the last time I was here about my material and how it's helped you in different ways.
Motivated.
Well, I don't know about that.
We were talking about harassment before, Norm. You have to behave yourself. We're not in the late 60s in California
I cannot behave
He knew
myself
Linda Kasabian.
Would you want me any other way?
No, I was just on the phone with. So I do a TV show in Nashua every other Wednesday. So I'm leaving that TV show to come to this TV show, and I'm on the phone with the co-host of that TV show, the host of it. And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to go see Norm." I said, "I always got to go see me some Norm, get my reading done." And
She's not going to make it, huh?
no,
She's afraid of me.
that the other girl, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she.
And that's okay. You know, and
Actually, she came yesterday. God bless her.
Oh.
She came here yesterday. I said, "No, it's Wednesday. The place was locked up." I said, "Of course it's locked up. Wrong day."
Well,
Oh,
we'll
she
get her
came here to
done
the
that.
studio?
There was a girl that I was going to bring on with me today, but
Plan March.
we'll see.
I have the
Yeah,
show
did not
before
do this.
Norm. You
Yeah.
can come on that, too.
Yeah. See,
What's
we-
your show about?
Well, it used to be about
Anything and everything.
politics, but politics has ground me down to where, like I was telling Norm, it was Norm's Community Corner. Remember, you
Yeah.
changed the title because he wanted to talk about politics. And I said, Norm, politics is the antithesis to spirituality. It's just,
And almost ruined me.
oh, it's
It
awful.
really did, because people don't agree with my political views. And I had these so-called readers that hate me because of my political views, you know, and stuff like that. And the way I feel about it, if you're going to judge someone by their personal views, then you're not being very honest within yourself. You going to Facebook this, or we're on?
Well, I know you are, and
Thanks to you.
I was going to say they're doing Facebook Live. Thanks to me. You got to put the caption on it, though. You got to put the caption, who's on your show, to get people to want to watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the description. And you got to turn it that way so that you can get the whole.
Okay, Scott, you want to turn that?
Well, you can't do it
No,
now.
no,
Once you
okay.
start, the camera won't turn once you've
Yeah.
started. But if you start it landscape instead of that way, it'll go that way.
We tried that and it came out upside down.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you. Yeah.
Love your earrings, girl.
Thank you.
They would look good on me.
I got that. There's a new hair wand that curls your hair. I've never had hair that had such a
Oh,
nice
I
curl.
don't need that. That's why I wear a hat.
You know. And folks, if you got any questions,
Well,
But
for
Cami-
people that explain, who are you?
That is
a
a
hot
question.
voluptuous blonde.
That's a question we've been asking for years. So this is what, my 6th, 7th, 8th appearance with Norm. I've been coming and playing with Norm since he was Norm the Psychic and Norm and Friends.
No, I remember Norman friends, so you go way back.
Yeah, go
when
way
I first
back.
started.
And
Wow.
many years ago when I first came on, I was a real estate agent and did a lot of, not just the typical boring, lazy realtor that does 3 deals a year. I actually work. But then I went from being in real estate to being in network marketing to now having my own speaking and training and my book. Yeah, Mingle To Millions. So,
And when is the book?
I'm sorry?
And when is the book?
The Mingle To Millions?
Yeah. And what does it consist of?
Oh, well, it's about how to build business relationships, and God knows people have a hard time with that. You know, you go to, the reason I wear my spiders is because you go to networking events and you see the same people over and over. You see the people that are handing a card to everybody in the room. They're just spraying and praying something will happen, and those are the skunks. And then there's the people who are grabbing a card from everybody. Hey, you got a card, you got a card. They take cards off all the desks and they leave that big stack of cards and they squirrel them away and put you on their email list. Those are the squirrels. And then there are the people at the event. Dun, 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 dun. Try my product, join my business, sign my contract. Those are the sharks. So if we don't want to be a skunk, a squirrel, or a shark, I submit that we consider being a spider, because a spider is savvy and strategic. And as she is making her connections back and forth, she creates a net web. And a spider doesn't hunt or chase or assertively go after. It sits back and waits for that which it wants to come to it. So if you want to be a spider in networking, how do you do that? And I teach people how to partner, nonprofit and for-profit, collaboration between for-profit and nonprofit, so that you can make money while you're making a difference. And there's a whole lot of fun ways we do that.
And you know, and that's the whole thing. You see, everybody can be successful if they want to be.
It's all in your mind. People are have you heard of landmark education?
No.
Yeah, I have.
I did landmark for a second time this past weekend, and people just are so fearful. They're so fear-based of being judged. And what are people going to think? What are they going to say? What if I look stupid? What if I fall? What if I don't say the right thing? They're so afraid of being judged that they just don't do anything. Constant state of fear. And that's why they don't take steps to start a business or reach out to that person that can put them on TV, or the next person that can expand their world. They're so afraid.
By the way, are you another credit?
What's that?
I'm writing my book.
Get out.
Yeah. And it's going to be called My Journey into the Spiritual World.
Nice.
And I always had this fear. Thanks to you giving me confidence, whether you're doing it or not, whether you realize it or not, I always felt once I wrote this book, I'm going to die.
Yeah, that is, I know what you're talking about.
I really did. I had this. Well, if I write this book, I'm going to die.
Your purpose is done. Is that what you thought?
Right.
Because your journey's completed and you're offering
what it is. And I had a very dear friend of mine saying, no, it's the old you is dying and the whole new beginning is coming up. By the way, mark on your calendar, September 12th, I'm doing an event in Brookline, New Hampshire. If you want to come and join our event, I'll send you info on that. Okay. And if they want to reach you do you do private classes?
I do private coaching. I do it for individuals, offices, companies.
What do you prefer?
The bigger the better. I really. Oh, stop it! You're so dirty.
I didn't say
dirty.
anything.
But if
we
you
started out well, condemning sexual harassment, but
if you think of the analogy of one realtor or an office full of realtors, or the whole company of Remax or Century 21 or Keller Williams, or the board of realtors, like for me to help the whole board of realtors in an area to actually get those realtors working together towards a common good that is socially responsible, makes them feel good when they're doing it, makes the whole community see the Board of Realtors in a new light. Not that there's something bad with them, but this gives them a way to show up differently. The bigger the group, the better.
When you see, we'll say 500 people, I know you have done it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going to be doing at least 1,500 people in a very short time.
I'd love to.
Okay.
I've done as many as 30,000 at one time.
Okay, but this is going to be, because you're going to be doing a lot of repeats.
Awesome.
Okay, and one of the money's going to be great, just to put it that way, But and I find that when I go on stage, the more the people, the more energetic you get. Do you find that
for
too?
Sure. Yeah.
I love doing stage shows. I don't do a lot of them. I do like private readings. I like doing home parties. But I get on that stage and you get all that energy.
People will say, where's your happy place? And people will say they go to the beach or to Disney World or something. I am more happy right here on a stage than anywhere else. I just feel so energized. I feel like I'm living my purpose.
Right. When I look forward to doing my TV show. Because, you and I know that we get a lot of listeners. But folks, let me tell you, doing a TV show or doing the readings at home, doing a party, as you know, John, it's not all glamour.
No.
But, it takes a year to be where we are. It doesn't come like the readings that I have done. Of course, I'm only 37, but nobody ever believes me.
No, it's you're suffering from the reverse.
Right.
What was the Oscar Wilde, the painting on the wall? Dorian Gray, right?
I'm
you need to get that painting back up on the wall.
When my son, that's 46, so, But, when people realize we're not out to destroy them, we're out there to help them to become better people for themselves. We're out there to teach them how to believe in themselves. I'm a firm believer that we're winners every day. Don't you agree?
Dr. Wayne Dyer, rest his soul.
Oh, I love him.
He says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that's one of the things that helped me when I got sober, was that, there was a point in my life where everybody I knew drank, everybody was at the bar, everybody's talking about what they're going to do one day, every other word's the F-bomb, all the smoke, just such a depressing, negative life. And I thought that was how the whole world was. Right. But as soon as I got sober, I actually started to attract people that weren't drinking. And it wasn't that they were hiding it or that they had a problem that they were, avoiding. They just didn't drink. And I was like, wow, there's people out here that don't drink. So people are so often so negative. They're so jaded. They look for the negative. They're cynical. What's in it for her? Why does he want me on the show? What's this going to cost me? How does this work? How does this benefit me? Jesus, take a deep breath and chill. Just enjoy life.
Yeah. That's why I love having people come on my show. I really do. And I love having you on, But, John and I have a good time when you come on, too, Because John and I tell it like it is. Okay, but like you said, I've gotten rid of the politics on my show because it's only downgrading me, and I don't want to do that anymore. My views are my views, your views are yours. You know, it's like religion. You don't discuss religion.
Politics, religion, and sports. You can't win.
No, you know. But the one thing that I think about, like in January, I made 24 years of sobriety. You know, and doesn't mean that they say because I'm a dry drunk because I don't go to AA and I still smoke my homemade cigarette. But you know what? That's my choice. And I hate it when I hear, and I'm sure you've heard this before, oh, alcohol made me do this and alcohol made me do that. No. You did it yourself. You just got the courage from the alcohol or whatever.
Some people look for excuses and reasons. And anytime I date somebody because I'm sober, I'll tell them, look, you never have to worry about me saying, oh, sorry, I went to bed with your friend last night. I was drunk.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to happen.
No.
It's all on the up and up, you know?
I like going into the bars. My son used to have a very successful band, okay? And then coming as members, he said they're going to argue in front of the manager of the bar that they went to. He just, and I love watching these people. I said to my son one day, did I act like a fool like that? He says, no, you acted worse. I go, oh, you know? And it made me realize I don't need to have a good time with alcohol. I have a good time without it. And I never fit in. Did you fit in when you were in the bar drinking?
I like to drink at home.
Yeah.
And you know, when they say in AA, if you don't want a haircut, don't go to a barber shop, meaning if you don't want to drink, don't go to a bar. But I said, shit, I was drinking at home. If I didn't want to go where I was drinking, I couldn't go home. So, yeah.
You like being sober?
I'm sorry?
You like being sober?
I do like being sober. I like remembering what I did last night.
Yeah.
I like not feeling like garbage the next day. I like not. I remember so I used to own a bar in Panama City Beach, and way back when I was drinking and everybody else was drinking, somebody had gone to drunk people's school, and they brought in this list of, if you answer yes to 2 or more of these 20 questions, you may be an alcoholic. And we passed the list around, and I answered yes to 18 of them, you know. And one of them was, do you find yourself associating with people that you normally wouldn't just because you're drinking? Absolutely. Yeah. Constantly. All the time.
When I got sober, I realized how many friends I didn't have. When I gave away 4 cases of mixed hard stuff. I set it outside the road because nobody wanted to pay for it or whatever. So I set it outside of the road. I watched the club owner come and pick it up and put it in his car.
Huh.
So I drove down. I said, you owe me a Coke at a free dinner. He goes, what do you mean? I said, that was my alcohol that you took. He was all upset, but I got a nice haddock plate and all that stuff, you know. And I met my partner, you know, and all because I'm sober. People didn't like me.
I'm so glad that they didn't have video on cell phones when I was drinking.
Me too.
Holy cow.
I used to jump on the table. I mean, I used to do
We actually had a state senator here done in by
oh, I'll bet.
from Hooksett, remember?
Yep.
I bet there's been thousands.
Yeah.
Bill Barry told me, he says, yeah, make sure you don't turn into him.
Yeah.
But,
I'd have a few drinks, I'd get on the table and I'd be doing all that, and everybody say, take it off, of course, you know. But then I got to the point where I never fit in any bars. I never fit, even at home, and I had a lot of people in my house. I never fit in. And then when I got sober, I said, really, I don't have to fit in. I'm the one that's paying for all the booze. And once I stopped drinking, all my friends, so-called friends, disappeared. Did you find that?
Oh, well, they're not your friends. They're your drinking buddies.
Yeah.
You're right.
And thank God they disappeared.
Yeah.
Thank God.
My son gave me an ultimatum. Either I get sober or I don't see him and my daughter-in-law. And you know what? That was a turning point in my life. And I have no regrets. I have a beautiful granddaughter. And if daughters were like my daughter-in-law, I have an awesome, awesome daughter-in-law, you know. And she just had to have a serious surgery done, and she's doing great now. She hadn't been able to come to my house for like 3 weeks. And, is my house lost without her coming? Because she comes over every other day. We play Scrabble. Do you play Scrabble?
I have. It's been a long time, but yeah.
We do every day. I never win, but that's okay.
Do you make up words?
Yeah, but they don't work because she's smart, and her and Scott both. Once in a while, they allow me to win. Do you play Scrabble?
I used to. I used to play with the Hamers.
Yeah.
But I used to give them 50 points because, I was a professional editor and all that.
Yeah.
But,
Boy. And then we used to play cribbage. I love. You like to play cribbage?
Never played that.
Oh, it's
my
fun.
uncles played that.
Yeah.
I like
yeah.
playing Uno.
I've never played that.
Ooh, Uno's a good drinking game too. Every game's
Everything's
a good
good
drinking.
to drink.
A friend of mine and I got stoned one time. And we had we played Monopoly for 48 hours.
I was going to say, how many days did that go on?
I
Depends on
don't
what you were
think any of
stoned
us
on.
won. You know. Then another time in my drinking day, we debated on why should we make a bet or why should we not make a bet. I don't think we even won on that one either. But I'm not saying all my drinking was bad, but I don't want to go back that way anymore. I kind of I went to and I'm not embarrassed by it, I went to a fantastic outpatient drug center, alcohol center, and I'll tell you what, I learned so much from them people, the counselors there, and they were through the Manchester Mental Health Center, and I learned so much. The guy's name was Mike, and he didn't pull punches. He didn't hold my hand. He didn't do any of that. And he said, you know what? It's up to you. If you want to get sober, it's up to you.
So I started dating a guy a few weeks ago, and
Not good enough for you.
already? You're
Already.
already going to tell me that?
Yep.
Well, he drinks, and he started talking to me about AA. So we've spent a couple hours talking about it, and I invited him to a meeting, and he said yes, and then something came up, whatever. So after the second time I asked him to go, when he said no, the minute it came out of his mouth, I said, I just want you to know that's the last time I'm going to ask. If you want to go, you have to tell me. And I guess the way I said it was kind of harsh because he was really taken aback. And I said, look, I don't want to convince you, push you, persuade you, make you go, and I'm not going to mention it until you ask. And then he did ask, and he has gone to a couple of meetings. But what else do you see about that?
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is a great deck.
Have you seen these?
I haven't seen those.
Okay. These are from Australia.
It's the Oracle of Echoes.
Yes.
Oracle of Echoes.
First of all, I don't want him to put you down. I don't want you to slow down because of him. Okay? And don't want you to give up what you've worked so hard for. You're not his mother. You're not his babysitter. You can be his friend for now. He is going to the meetings to please you. And that doesn't work.
That's the truth.
I want you to take out 5 cards anywhere you want. Your sister's got a lot of good news coming to her.
Well, I'm finally moving out.
Yeah. Oh, you're moving up? No. I still have them 2 jack-o'-lanterns,
I have 2 other sisters. So.
The one that makes me the jack-o'-lantern. His sister makes me a jack-o'-lantern every year. for Halloween.
She also has the Donald Trump tie, but we won't get into that.
Oh, no.
We were going to have the guy with the boot on his head, Vermin Supreme.
Yeah.
He's gotten too big for his britches now.
Okay.
He won the Libertarian nomination because they don't have the party anymore, so they just get together and
Yeah.
pick
He used to
somebody.
wear boots on his ears.
Have you ever seen him?
Yeah.
Well,
I've actually talked to him.
yeah. Oh.
Ancestries. You're an old soul. You really are. You're about 2,000 or a lot more soul. Okay? You've always been a motivator for other people. You've never been rich. Okay? So now you are determined to be not millions and millions and millions of dollars, but to be financially secure. Because what you're doing instead of putting people down in this present life, you're not wasting your time with the people who don't want to learn. Okay? Let them spend their money if they want money. If they don't want to learn, it's not their choice. You know what I'm saying?
Just a few months ago, I said, don't spend time with people who need you but don't understand you. Spend time with people who want you and appreciate you.
You ever watched that Nanny McPhee? Oh, she says that the same thing you just said. You may not want me here, but I'll be here. When you think you don't need me, but when you think you need, and then It's really a great theory. Like you said, if you don't want me here, that's your choice. You can pay all kinds of money if you want. That's up to you. But one of the things I do see you finding someone that has a lot in common with you. Okay. I also see you and your partners expanding a lot more. There's something about Wisconsin.
Where?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
It's like a dry state that's looking for a renewal of life living, a renewal of how people can improve in their life. And one thing I'm looking at, that I'm seeing that the what's that thing called? About that stand that when they put when the minister has his
The
Pulpit?
pulpit, the pulpit. I don't see you having. You're not going to waste your time with that because you're too energetic. You're going to be trucking back and forth, and you're actually going to be shaking hands with a lot of people there. And don't be surprised that you sign autographs. Have you signed autographs?
Well, I sign my book all the time.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I love signing my book.
That's like today. I saw a guy that came on watches me on my TV show. I love it when I see these people that watch it. And by the way, you're very popular with this guy too. But I forgot to ask his name. Because one thing about you too is that you're actually older than your mother.
My soul, you mean?
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Okay. And you're more open-minded now. So you started to become more open-minded, and you're actually listening to what people say. You're not acting like a know-it-all.
Well, last weekend when I was at Landmark, one of the things I got clear about is I've been turning people off because I was being too judgmental and a little self-righteous about it's my way or
No
you're
way,
stupid.
yeah.
So, and I didn't say that, but apparently I've been coming off that way. So what you just said is what I just got 2 days ago.
Yeah, there's a German phrase for that, but like many, they have perfect phrases, but I never learned German very well, Norm. But it is. It's a combination of know-it-all and the self-righteousness, and it's almost like, because I have that too, and it's almost like a sin with pride or something. You have to pull back.
Well, yeah, that's when I started getting really known for what I do. My ego was out here.
Yeah, ego
And,
inflation.
One of my friends says, I wonder what you say about me, who is a very dear friend of mine, because I was always doing this, and this. What do you say about me when I'm not around? And I go, wow. The mirror. I look in the mirror quite often. I had to realize I'm not John Edwards, nor do I want to be. I'm not Sylvia Brown, nor do I want to be. I am Reverend Norman Moody, and I am who I am, like you are, And I don't plan on charging outrageous prices. Everybody said, why don't you go? No. Because everybody needs a reading if they want it. Not everybody can afford what I used to charge.
Have you ever been to the acupuncture community?
Of course.
When you said that, the community ones?
We have Elizabeth Ropp, who been on my show. Has she been on your show? She's been on
She won't
Gary's.
come on my show.
Well, I'll ask her.
No, she don't like me.
I have her. She has my medallion now, so we'll get her.
Well,
but the community acupuncture
So
we
it's-
have right here. in
Yeah,
Manchester.
I just started going about a month ago. Instead of going yourself,
help?
it is the weirdest thing. I have walked on fire. I've done therapy. I've done anything and everything. And when I go get plugged into the acupuncture, when they put the needles in, I feel like I'm plugged into the universe. It feels like an endorphin drip going in my system. It's the craziest thing. But when you said people deserve to get their reading, the community acupuncture place, there's like 25 lazy boy chairs, and the fee is $15 to $35, whatever you can afford. So I give them $20 every time I go, and I've been going like 3-4 times a week.
Right.
Yeah, because I just
Yeah, I'm
great.
gonna see
Not
if they
in
can do-
Nashua? Or
Nashua
here?
and Manchester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to make an appointment to go.
Oh.
She just will, and that's okay. But because my feet hurt all the time. All the time.
Oh, she can help you with that and the others.
Well, for $15, and once they tap you in,
See,
there's
that-
no limit to
my
the
biggest
time.
fear is needles.
I hate needles too, but I'm telling you, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Got this whole side of my face. I had over 1,500 needles in it because I had skin grafts. So when they tell me that my face looks like my butt, I said, "You get it, honey," because that's where it actually came from, you know. And that was one of the very first operations done at Elliott Hospital by Dr. Parker. You know the Parker House on by there. This doctor did all the
What happened?
surgery. I was born with this one
Yeah.
with no skin. Okay,
Huh.
so back
He's
in
Odin.
yeah. So and I'm in the AMA book. So that's cool. And when also, you know what? Everybody said, you know, and I'm one of these people that once it's supposed to live and all that. They put me in a shoebox, you know, a drawer with all these old-fashioned heat lamps, and they used to call me Fuzzy Wuzzy, you know. But, you know, the Spirit has a purpose for you and I. I don't think I would want my life easy, would you?
You know, I believe we choose our life when we come, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
certain lessons that we've signed up to get, and we're here to get our lessons.
You know, I've been doing a lot of backtracking with my real dad, you know. And I realized that I come to turn when a lot of it was my fault, too. It wasn't all his.
Yeah.
You know.
It's important to know
Yeah,
that.
even though he wasn't always there for me, you know, and I got really jealous when he got married and again all that. But you know, a lot of it was my fault too, and I had to learn to accept that.
Well, over the weekend, Landmark has a point where you make amends with parents, and I brought my daughter. She went with me. So she'll be 21 in a couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah, and so we took this 30-minute session, and you call your parents and clean up whatever's going on. So she was with me, so I knew that was coming. So I saw her coming down the hall, and I just started to cry.
Yeah.
And we hugged, and I said, what do you need to clean up with me? And she said, you know, back when I was 13, she cut herself for a while.
Yeah,
Just a
I
short
remember
period.
that. I remember that.
And she said, remember when you told me you were afraid of me when I was cutting myself? I said, yeah. She said she heard somebody else that day talking about their parents and how they had one that was weak and one that was strong, and that they took everything out on the weak parent. She said, I was so mad at Daddy about everything he did, and she said, I took it out on you, and I just want you to know I'm sorry.
Isn't that the coolest thing?
It's the best thing ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Not for me,
Yeah.
but that she can get that clarity,
Right.
that she can start looking at life with a different filter.
And she's still working over there?
She's actually, they closed.
Edible?
Arrangements, all three of them in the
Edible
area.
arrangements is
Concord,
gone.
Manchester,
Wow.
Nashua.
No wonder I couldn't get any orders to mail. I want to order something for my daughter-in-law.
So that was Concord, Londonderry, Manchester closed. The one in Nashua now gets all the business. So if you call, you'll still get a delivery, but it's coming from Nashua.
Oh.
So she's working at SNU now. She's in the cafeteria there. There's a company that takes care of all the food there. They eat for free, and
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
You know? And she's actually going to go to school there.
I
She's intelligent.
she is. She really plugged in. She was really great this weekend.
That's so awesome to hear. I remember when she was just
Yeah.
you know, when she was a young girl, she could be pretty rebellious
Oh,
then, too.
yeah.
you know?
Oppositional defiance disorder, they call it.
You know,
Yeah.
my son and I, for a little while, we were at odds with each other. You know,
It happens.
and you know, and it happens. You know, and I could always remember that we were out minding garbage containers. You know, and he was going to lock me up in a metal institution, all this other stuff. And you know what? We gave respect for each other because neither one of us backed down. He is very much a lot like me.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Okay. But I never realized how he actually accepted my being gay.
So he's actually your biological kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you look at him and you look at me, oh, yeah. The weird part, once my son was born, I didn't want to be married anymore. I wanted my son. And I believe I was a good parent. He's come out okay, and I've got a great daughter-in-law and a great granddaughter, and I have a terrific son, you know. And we're very close, you know. Oh, he still yells at me every once in a while, you know. And that's okay. Okay, which card? Rest. You don't know how to rest. You are always, even your mind is always thinking. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. And when that speedy music's on, you're really bebopping along. But your mind is always going. Mm-hmm. One thing about you, even when you're doing your show in your car, you're always alert to your surroundings. Mm. And I believe that is like your third eye working with you. Okay? And they know because you are interested in that. You've got to stop being so self-absorbed into you've got to reach to people. And like she said, I'm going to confer with that person instead about you either your way or the highway, so to speak. You know, that was a valuable lesson for you, even if you didn't want to hear it. Because I've had to hear that before. You know, I got told one time that I'm not reading with the angel or the spirit. I was reading from, so when I started reading with the angels, then, and because I do see a big turnaround. And when you start realizing, every once in a while we have to do a self-inventory. Oh, baby, I'll help you. But anyway, but we have to do a self-inventory, And sometimes we like it and sometimes we don't, but we know it's the right thing for us. Like, you have to do a lot of self-inventory at times.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
a great guy, John. Don't let anybody say you're not.
It's only her.
No, I'm coachable. I'm open. I know that I'm here to help millions of people,
Yeah.
and
Me
being
too.
closed off from them is not helping. So
And once again, I got to tell you, thank you for teaching me Facebook. And once again, I'm going on YouTube. And I'm starting my group. I've been going. And a lot of the people put, well, I want this amount of numbers, 120 to join the group. Then I want 150. I don't put numbers on. Because that's like, say like you want, you need $300. And you say, well, my goal is to make that $300. The Spirit is going to give you how much? $300. Not any more and not any less. So if you leave it open to whatever that Spirit wants to give to you, because by the time you're 65, honey, you're going to be driving 2 Maseratis. And you're going to have a house in California, and you're going to have a house here in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is always going to be like a home ground for you. You like New Hampshire?
yeah, after I left 2 years ago and went out to Washington, I was so grateful to come home.
When I went to college in California, I couldn't wait to get back here. There's something about intriguing. I know it's slow. I know there are very puritanic in many
There's a
ways.
spiritual
Connection.
vortex here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yes, it's up in the White Mountains.
Yeah.
I
The
think
energy.
that's
There's
what
one
it
near
is.
in Carmel, California, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, you
Been
see
there.
where the legislators are going to pass the legalizing marijuana?
No, I'm the less I hear about politicians, the
No, I'm
happier
just
I'll
saying
be.
that,
in my
I'm
life.
happy about that.
But it's legal everywhere, Canada,
Except New
and
Hampshire.
around.
Yeah. But it's a new doesn't reject it, But 2020, if people will stop hating each other, don't you agree? New Hampshire, California, all of them can be the most important and successful time of the year. I'm not naming presidents, I'm not naming, political garbage, but I just see corn is going to be harvesting plentiful.
Doesn't 2020 seem different? I mean, it's not a new year. It's new year, new decade, but there's a spiritual energy about it.
And you're right. People are looking not for medical reasons. People are looking for positive healing and not being droned out by the medical pharmaceutical company. They're looking for spirituality. They're looking for within their inner being. They're looking to say, you know what, I can be successful. Can't they be?
Yeah, anybody can.
Even you, John.
I have been,
There you
and
go.
it's not one journey; it's many journeys.
Well, you got a lot more coming.
It's like when you guys were talking about certain things. One of the problems about being a know-it-all, and I'm thinking, if only I knew the German phrase, which has more subtleties, just a know-it-all. You can have the answer, and you can have the answer for somebody, but that doesn't mean that they want to hear it or can hear it at that point in their journey.
Yeah.
And the more you want to force it on them, oh, I know, the less forgiving they are. It's almost like
Where are you
it's more of
live?
opposites.
What are you live on? What channel?
23.
Yeah, look up
No.
MPTS.
No, the TV or the
I'm on
Facebook.
Facebook on my
Yeah.
Spiritual Readings by Norm Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spiritual Readings by Norm.
Okay.
And it's online
Reverend
right now.
Yeah, and it's live.
Manchester Public TV Service, Channel 23.
Reading.
ManchesterTV.org.
Is that what it is? How do you get to the 20?
By-
Oh, that takes you and you just...
Right
on
on
23.
online, yeah.
Hopefully it'll be working.
There isn't a spiritual readings by Norm.
Reverend Norm.
Reverend Norm.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to go on and share it.
Okay. I forgot what I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say. We all have dreams. And I always tell people, if you don't follow your dream, you're always going to wonder, could I, should I, would I? Very simple phrases.
So you're doing your Facebook Live in the group Spiritual Readings by Reverend Norm, which is a private group.
Mhm.
Why?
I don't know. Just did it.
There's only 22 members in there.
Well, it's going to grow.
We just started it.
Yeah, I just
I,
started
I
it
would
good.
I would put it on his public channel and direct people there.
I did not know. I'm just spiritual readings by Reverend Norm. It's just on my Facebook, not the group.
It's not on your Facebook.
Well, you think of it this way: you're creating content, and then that can be shared.
It should be,
because
or just Norm on Facebook.
right.
Well, no, Norm Moody, you're not on Facebook Live.
Well,
There's lives at your home from there,
yeah.
but this one is not live right now. Not on Norm.
Well, try home.
Well, I tried the spiritual group, but I'm in Facebook jail because I was a bad girl and I posted too much to groups, and so they won't let me, so I can't join your group. Anyway.
Yeah, well, anyway, those will hear it. We're supposed to hear it. I mean, download it on the YouTube anyways, you know. Now, I was going to say something. No one, I forgot what I was going to say, but it can't be too important, you know. They don't come back.
Well, you were talking about that people can achieve success.
Oh, absolutely.
If they choose
to, you know. When they come into my office and I do a reading on them, you know, and counseling or whatever, I tell them, you don't have to believe anything. I don't care. When you're gone, I don't remember you.
You remember me.
Well, I'll always remember you, honey. But no, if you remember everybody that you do things
No,
with, you know.
you can't.
I've had people call me from, do you remember 10 years ago?
What's this for?
That's where we're live on that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the address.
okay. You're live on Manchester.
TV.org.
But then there's the trailer there.
ManchesterTV.org. Okay.
And, but, you know.
Yeah, slash and then 23.
Yeah. Not everybody's going to want to hear what you have to say. They want to hear what you think you're going to tell them. You know, like when you're teaching.
Wasn't it an art to do that? Because people, like a baby, one doesn't want to eat things that are good.
Yeah, it is. But
Did you want to be healed when they were healing you? You probably rebelled against it.
Yeah. But, you know, and when my clients come in, I learn something from them too as well, you know. And, you know, it's a two-way street. It isn't one of these where I know it all, and I used to think I did, but that's when I thought I was the queen bee, you know. But now, you know what, I learn something from every client that I have. I do a lot of spiritual counseling, and I enjoy whatever I do. And if you, you enjoy what you do.
I love it. There's nothing else I'd rather do.
No.
How do you enable people, your clients, though, to find what they need to find?
I work with them.
And that's what you, too?
Yeah.
For me, I am clear. I am not here to service everyone. I'm not here to help and all that. For those that I'm here to serve, they resonate. They want to do the work. If you have to convince, pull, persuade, then you always have to. And I don't want to pull anybody. I want them to want.
We have a call.
Yeah.
I think it's our community acupuncturist,
Yeah,
isn't it?
welcome to Norm Community Corner.
Hi, this is Elizabeth. John Hopwood told me to call in.
I see. This is our community acupuncturist.
Oh.
I told you she would be on your show.
No,
She has a pressure cooker going.
I invited her to come on the show before.
Oh, well, I invited her to come on my show, but of course, you know, I'm much more less charming than you
Oh,
are.
yeah, well, I'm not sure. How are you? So you're the acupuncturist?
Well, I'm one of them. There's a few of us. Yep. So, yeah, there's 5 of us at the Manchester Acupuncture Studio, and there's a few other clinics around New Hampshire. Portsmouth Community Acupuncture, Dover Community Acupuncture, and Cup of Life over in Keene.
So I just got turned on to your place about 30 days ago. A friend of mine brought me, and
Nice.
I went 12 times in 25 days.
Wow.
I'm just addicted to it. What is the deal with some of us who actually get high from sitting there?
Yeah, the energy. We were talking about the energy that an acupuncturist can help flow through the body.
Well, that's a really good question, and I don't know if the answer is the same for every person, but I think that we're, in modern culture, we deal with a lot of stress and stagnation. We have high-stress jobs, we have deadlines, we don't sleep enough, we don't always eat the right foods, we're always in a hurry, and then when you get to come in and get a little acupuncture, and get your inflammation down, your blood and body fluids moving. I think that it's just giving you a chance to sort of decompress from all of that stress.
And okay, now who are we talking to?
Elizabeth Ropp, the Register Probate of Hillsborough County.
Oh,
She's the
okay.
one who defeated
that's
Joe
okay.
Kelly Lavasser.
All right, good girl. Yeah. But
But aside from that, I work at the Manchester Acupuncture Studio, and we're at 895 Hanover Street. And
oh, this is a different
starting
one. Okay.
on February 4th, we're offering a free dry mouth, dry eye clinic for anyone who suffers from that condition.
Huh.
Yeah,
So
I
if they
have
call
that.
the clinic and make an appointment, they can get a free treatment if they're struggling with dry mouth and dry eye.
Can you give them the number?
603-669-0808.
Okay. Can I invite you to come on my show sometime?
Yeah, I'll try to do that. Are you always on Wednesdays?
Every Wednesday. I'm a 2-hour
Okay,
show.
I'll see if I can make it. I've got some stuff on the stove right now, but I would like that. That sounds really great.
All right. I'm looking like in either March or April.
I have your Pyrex.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yes. You really
What's her
do.
name? Elizabeth again?
So Elizabeth,
Right.
I love your energy.
my Jupiter stone decided it wanted to stay with her.
Yeah. You have awesome energy.
That's because
Thanks.
that's
And
because
I
where
only
she
want to
works.
come on the
they're
show if John
fabulous.
Hopwood is there.
Okay.
My contract.
Why not just me?
I don't know.
She knows how
I like to be
lascivious
on
you
TV and
are.
on radio with John Hopwood.
Okay, we'll
have
book
a
it for you
banter,
then,
You know?
You could do 4. You could do 4 hours. Me,
Yeah, right.
Norm, and then Gary.
How long? Yeah. How long of us? Okay, if one comes to your office, how long of a session is it?
For acupuncture?
Yeah.
As long as you
Yeah,
want.
you come in and you stay as long as you like. We've got 20 chairs at our Manchester location, and we have 18 chairs at our Nashville location, and people can rest as long as they like. Most people stay for 45 minutes to an hour, but if you fall asleep, I won't wake you, or we won't wake you unless it's 8 o'clock or,
Right,
on a Monday through Friday, or 5 o'clock on a Saturday, Sunday.
I've
Okay.
been there for 2.5 hours before, and that's what's so great about going.
Does it hurt?
No.
It really doesn't. It's the weirdest thing. And once you get the needles put in, I don't even get up until I have to go to the bathroom. And I've sat there holding it for till 2.5 hours. It's just crazy.
It's relaxing.
And
So
the
relaxing.
atmosphere is they have the white noise in the background. It's just really warm and it's inviting. It's like being in mama's womb for a couple
It's
hours.
Eden.
Yeah,
We asked about where's Eden.
Right there.
Why don't you give the address of Eden once again and the phone number?
So in Manchester, it's 895 Hanover Street. It's in the East Side Plaza next to the Aloha restaurant.
Ooh.
And
See Chris Herbert
phone
over
number-
there.
603-699-0808.
John, will you come on with her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's put it on either March or April. We
Okay.
can do it,
Hey, can you do a session here with the acupuncture? Can you bring the needles?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Hey, you talked me into it.
She did it with the aldermen.
Well, shit, I'll show up for that.
Well, so you want to come in too, right?
yeah.
Okay, we'll keep it busy with it. And we're also, hey, if you've got time, in September 12th, we're doing a psychic event down in Brookline, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Okay. I like to get people who are natural healers. And I love her energy. She sounds like a natural healer.
Can I have a question for you? We don't really like to talk about politics on Norm's show, but
No.
are you going to challenge Joe Kelly Lavasser
Nah,
to
I don't
a
want
wrestling match again?
I don't want to answer on that.
He didn't get back to me the last time, but I think that it's always worth keeping the challenge out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
I am a one-time Jello wrestling champion, and so he
Ooh.
really should know that about me.
You mean Joe Lavasser should know that? I don't think Joe's got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guts to.
No. Actually, we're gonna stop that part.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wrestled in chocolate cake batter mix.
Oh wow.
I won the cheerleading contest.
I believe it.
I jumped higher than them girls did, let me tell you. And but the one thing I'm looking forward to having you on my show. And if you would like, we'll do a psychic reading on you as well.
Well, that sounds fantastic.
Okay. Julie, when I get home,
I'm
I'll
really
Facebook
looking
you.
forward
and
to
you
it, and I really thank you for letting me take some time to call in.
Oh,
and
anytime.
talk to you about
Ladies
one of
and
my
gentlemen, we
favorite
are
topics.
talking with, what's her name again?
Elizabeth Robb,
Elizabeth
the
Ross, who is
Register
a-
of Probate of Hillsborough
Okay.
County.
Well, she's an acupuncturist, and she will welcome people there, and she will open her heart and soul to you in caring, and she has a great and healing heart.
She's a healer.
Yeah.
Next
She
time
can
I
heal
come down,
people.
Elizabeth,
She's
I'm
an
going to tell you who I
instrument of
am.
healing.
Yep.
I'll introduce myself.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
I said next time I come down, I'll find her and introduce myself.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what
That
we're
sounds
gonna.
great. I would love that.
Yeah, and I want and have you and I doing acupuncture on the show.
Yeah, right
Okay?
here.
Yeah.
I'll see if I
Okay.
get that
We'll
same.
we'll do free publicity for you. How's that?
Right, wonderful.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to make sure we keep your show as interesting as possible.
Oh, I always do.
Always.
Don't
No
I?
Jello wrestling at the
Always.
studio.
Oh, hey, that's an idea.
Yeah.
Are you going to wrestle her?
Jello
No.
wrestling, readings, and acupuncture.
Hey,
It's
boy,
a
that
full
would
day.
bring it all up,
Right.
wouldn't
It's
it?
a full day.
That would be a full day.
Well, maybe we can get some pancake batter.
By the way, I actually see you. You know, you're not done with your career. You're going to be teaching.
Who, me?
Yep. You're going to
Or
be
John
teaching.
Hopwood?
They're not. He's
No,
talking
you,
to
Elizabeth.
you.
You.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because what you do, you are really, you love what you do.
It's true.
And you want to see other people grow in it. Okay? And I actually
Yeah.
see you working with a lot of people from like the inner city and all those who can't.
Oh, well, her form of community acupuncture comes from the Bronx. Her, was it Tupac Shakur's father was like one of the people that founded it?
Well, in a way, yes. So in community acupuncture clinics, we're acupuncturists, and we treat all kinds of conditions that people would normally treat with acupuncture. And we have it in an open room clinic setting. And the idea really comes from the South Bronx, and how it was used starting in the South Bronx, where people would get treated in a group setting just using ear acupuncture to detox from methadone. So we kind of
Really?
piggybacked
Methadone?
on that idea that started at the Lincoln Hospital in the South Bronx. Only we don't just treat for different kinds of addictions. We're using acupuncture to treat pain and stress and all the things that people would get acupuncture for. So they're sort of like Mutulu Shakur, who is Tupac Shakur's stepdad, and Dr. Mike Smith, who is the psychiatrist of the Lincoln Detox Program, they're sort of our ancestors of what we like to refer to as liberation acupuncture.
And you treated me for PTSD. You can use that.
This is true.
Yeah.
And you're being helped?
You can use it for anything. Menstrual cramps, dry mouth.
Yep.
That's
Don't
amazing.
worry about that.
Like common cold.
Yeah.
Really?
And one person
Yeah.
one of my close friends had a major surgery, and Elizabeth treated her with acupuncture, and her physician, it's true, was amazed, said she healed 2 months ahead of schedule.
That's awesome.
Yep,
Yeah. She had
yep. A lot of
replacement
people come in after
needles.
surgery, and it speeds up their recovery time.
That's cool. Okay, well, I'm going to go. Thank you so much, and I'll be sending you through John Hopwood. I'll be sending you a date, and you'll let me know.
Okay.
That sounds great. I look forward to it.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Is it a
Peace
weird?
and love.
Bye.
Is it a weird coincidence that I mentioned the acupuncture place and then she called in?
Well,
Oh, you
It was
messaged
the
her?
weird
Yeah.
coincidence was that you brought up her acupuncture, not because she's one of my closest
Is it a
friends.
coincidence?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that weird?
but
Or
it's
is it
about
meant
the-
to be?
No, it's about the spider. It's a web.
Right?
We're all inter.
That's what I like about my
tapestry.
show. I bring in all kinds of different things, But I will not allow negativity in here. And I will not allow somebody to come in and say, well, this guy did that guy did this. No, I'm not going to allow that. By the way, you got 3 angels in that corner. One actually comes out and sees one of my friends that comes on the show, and she is smiling at you. She is so proud of you, and I'm going to give you a message from her. She told me that she is so proud of where you have been to where you are today. She told me to tell you not to look back at yesterday.
Nice. Thank you.
Because don't we do that every once in a while without realizing?
Oh, yeah.
And I look and say, am I living in a balloon, in a bubble, got a pot, But, I got my son and daughter-in-law, and then my son, my partner, I got to tell you, he is so encouraging. I'm very spoiled. You know. Okay. Rest. When you going to actually take a me day for you? The acupuncture work and go, but I'm going to encourage you to get a deep body massage, especially around the brain area, because your brain is you're tossing and you're turning, even when you're having extra ta-ta-ta or whatever, your mind is still working. You've got to learn how to slow your mind down. Okay. Time to soar.
Yay!
What do you think that means?
It's time for me to get in front of the right people to really make a huge impact.
Reevaluate, reinvent yourself. Like that lady said, that someone who said to you about that.
Yeah.
It kind of, tell me about. It kind of made you think about it when she said that about me, and all that. It makes you think, doesn't it? Mm. So then it makes you a little upset, but then when you get home, you think about it, and then now it's time for Cami to soar. Mm. You can't allow these people that are blocking your energy, like that person that's going to, you cannot allow anybody to block your energy. Mm. And believe me, as you know, and I know, and as John knows, there's a lot of people out there that will love to block you. They'll wait for you to fall.
They're vampires.
They're just for psychic vampires.
Yeah.
And they'll wait for you to fall.
There goes your energy.
Yeah.
A friend of mine posted something on Facebook the other day. There's some people that are holding their breath, waiting for you to fail. Make sure they suffocate. Mm-hmm. That's a good one, huh?
Mm-hmm. That is a good one.
I've had more than when I was in Laconia. I've always been a reader. It was amazing how well I did when I was high and when I was drinking and all that stuff. And today, and I know a couple of people said, "We'll wait for you to fall." I said, "You know what? It's not going to be me that falls. It'll be you."
I'm all open to taking responsibility.
Yeah.
I went to that event wanting to find out what the deal was, and if there's something I can fix and change, I'm all about it. Some people are just negative from the get-go. I went to I help businesses partner with nonprofits and causes so that they can work together to have more exposure and more volunteers and more business and have abundance. I don't know how anybody couldn't understand that, but I walked into a nonprofit just a few blocks from here. Last week I was invited to go to their board meeting. I walk in, all I said was, "Hey, my name's Cami, and I'm here because so-and-so invited me." Right off the bat, this guy was, "Well, you're not on the docket, and it's not on the schedule. I mean, you can talk, but you got 5 minutes." And he was just really passive-aggressive from the get-go. When the whole board got there, there's maybe 6 of them, they couldn't make eye contact. They could not smile. One guy just looked like a dead person sitting over in the corner. So I had 5 minutes. 5 minutes isn't enough for anything. So I'm trying to create conversation. I said, "So when you guys have sponsors for an event, what do you do with your sponsors? Like, how do you benefit them?" Guy says, "We don't have sponsors. We don't have an event, and you've got 5 minutes to tell us why you're here."
That sounds like Manchester.
I probably would have walked away.
So if the guy who invited me hadn't have been there, I wouldn't have stayed with the first passive aggressive. But then, so after that, when I did leave, the next morning, this guy who invited me sent me a message. He said, "Hey, I'm sorry so-and-so was like that. The board wants you to come back and explain what you do." And
he wanted you there because he knew the situation, and it just takes like a drop. Or just a pebble.
When you go back?
And start up.
No.
You won't. Ripples.
I actually did a Facebook Live about it. I didn't say any names or anything. But I told this guy, I said, there's 3 reasons I'm not going to go back. And I want to tell you what they are because you need to know this because you're bringing people in there.
Right.
I said, number 1, I won't be treated that way.
Exactly.
Nobody should be treated that way. And ironically, their nonprofit is all about helping ethnic communities to get entrenched, people who come from other countries to get more comfortable. The name of their event, their group has something to do with community.
Right.
So to be treated. So I said, number 1, I won't be treated that way. Number 2, they wouldn't be coachable. They would never do the things I suggest. They would push and they would be resistant and all that kind of stuff. So that's the second reason. And I said the third, with what I do, I bring you resources and relationships. Hundreds and thousands and people interact and they meet and mingle. I could not in good conscience do anything to help bring people to be put in front of that.
And if you know Manchester very well, they don't want to meet anybody
No.
else. This is a very, I came back, I
Very
was born here.
narrow-minded.
My father always used to say Manchester's 25 years behind the time. I think it's 1946
Yeah.
when my father came back from World War II and he was still a teenager. But yeah, there's a certain rigidity. And like I say, it's, your friend might have wanted you like the pebble,
But
but
you
you
needed
did
to
the
be
sounding.
there.
It's not gonna happen.
You needed to be there to realize not everybody wants what we do.
Oh, I get that. I get that. And I told this guy's really passionate and he's such
Yeah.
a nice guy and he loves his
You're
event.
going to resign.
I told him, I said, I would love to work with you. I said, when you find another organization, let's do something with them. And I said, if you're really passionate about that group, let's make money over here so you can just make more donations to them or something. Cause
Right, but it's
That's why
impossible.
I'm probably going to be coming in time before September 12th to have you help me to promote my second event because it's Healing Paws NH.
Oh,
And what that does is we get all the money back and we pay for people who can't afford to go to the event.
huh.
I even told one girl, she didn't know what to say. I said, by the way, if your husband gets too frisky, we'll pay for him to be neutered. You will? I said, yeah. Oh, no. You know, people, you and I have to be careful what we say. And you too.
Well, I know that.
You know. But, folks, I'm only kidding, but we are doing a nonprofit at Healing Paws NH, and we're going to be doing it September 12th in Brookline, New Hampshire. The hall there is so big, so I want to get 40 vendors. I've only got to have like maybe 6 or 7 readers, 'cause I think you can overwhelm with too many readers, so nobody's going to make any money out of it, and, you know, and stuff like that. But I won't give you an hour to do a show. Is that enough time for you?
At the event or,
At the event.
well, what I would
I mean, on talking.
I can do that, but what I would suggest is you have me come speak to the vendors and the people who are
Right, yeah.
participating, because if you have 40 vendors, what always happens is they give you the $50 for the table or whatever, and the event's 6 months from now, they don't do anything to promote it. They show up the day of the event, they put up their table, they don't make as much money as they wanted to, and they all complain that there weren't enough people or whatever it is they're complaining about. Let's teach them how to actually leverage purpose in your marketing. The purpose is the puppies. Let's leverage the animals so that the marketing is focused on the animals, but it gives the business people, the vendors, a reason to go out and talk to people in a different way. I'll teach them how to do Facebook Lives with each other. So imagine, Norm, you go to each of these vendors' business, go to their business and do a Facebook Live. Hey, everybody, I'm here with,
Yeah, that's what
Bob.
I want to do, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
teach you how to do that.
Yeah, okay. Folks, we are planning the new one's going to be called Healing Paws NH. I had to make a lot of amends so I could get it going again, okay? Because I took a sabbatical, and now I'm generated. You know, I get enthusiastic because part of my thing is doing events, part of promoting nonprofit. My next nonprofit is going to be dental plans for people who can't afford to go to the dentist.
Wow, I got a lot of ideas around that too.
Oh, you
So
and I
much
work
to do.
well, okay?
Now, at the event, you're going to have readers. You
Right.
mentioned me speaking, which is probably not appropriate for the event, to teach the vendors how to promote
Right, that's
it.
what
It's
I
different.
want to put. See, I want every vendor to promote that we're going to be there. I want every event to promote themselves and to promote what's going to be there. Because my problem is the last time nobody promoted.
They don't. They never will until you.
And I- you
you
know, and
have
I
to
said,
bring in
yeah.
a third party to
And they
explain.
said to me, but you didn't promote it. I said, you want to check Facebook, you want to check all these different things and checking the ads and
Yeah,
You know.
people.
Here's the ticket, though. You have to teach them what's in it for them.
Right.
You have to teach them what's in it for them. Every one of those vendors could double their business by promoting your event. And when they're promoting the event, the nonprofit's logo's on there, your logo's on there. So imagine thousands of people see your logo and see the promotion long before the event happens. Those vendors are so worried about that day at the event and what are they going to give away that day and the event. Well, what about these 6 months leading up to the event?
Yeah.
I guarantee I could get every one of them 100 new clients if they would just be coachable.
Self-involved.
You know,
All right, I get it.
inside a sphere.
But don't you have to be self-involved?
Well, if you can't put the oxygen mask on yourself, you can't put it on anybody else.
Right. I have learned, a very good friend of mine plays the oboe. I mean, not the long didgeridoo.
Oh, didgeridoo, yeah.
And he said, yeah, I am conceited. I am. I do have an ego. But if we don't have it, no, it's not blown out of proportion. But if we're not self-absorbed a little bit, have a little ego, then how can we help other people? Because we have to believe in what we're doing.
Yeah, this card's more complex because it's almost like you're in a crystal. It's fascinating that she has, the artist that created these often has like the chakras and energy coming out. You'll see the energy going up the woman's spine. It was all in a Christ-like pose too. So everything, the one thing I learned from Andy Warhol, because I'm not going to make the money he did from Brillo Box, was if you don't want something, you'll get it. What he's talking about is like this, the thing of opposites. Like if you try too hard, you can have the answer that the person needs. But if you, it's the technique of giving it to them. Like you're talking about norms, the people.
Yeah.
How can you, if they want to be coached?
This is definitely for you.
Huh.
That's how these cards all come into play.
So what does create space? So
you need to take time for you. You're always working to help other people.
Oh, that's
you need to create some time and space for you.
Well, isn't there a dichotomy here of take time for yourself? Wait a minute, you're too self-involved.
Yeah, you used a big word.
Yeah, the opposites once again. The dialectic, right?
The irony.
Thesis, antithesis, and the
what was the last time you
synthesis.
actually took, like we said, the me time and stuff?
I don't know. I feel like being an entrepreneur, I take a lot of me time.
No, you don't.
No?
No. When was the last time you had a body massage by a cute guy?
Now, Norm, are you doing body massages?
No.
Actually, a very good friend of mine gave me a really good one about 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
Not sexual, but
No,
it was a
no.
good one. Yeah.
When was the last time you... you talk about... I'm really getting excited about that acupuncture.
Yeah.
I really am. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, Elizabeth, right?
Elizabeth Robb,
Right.
Register of Probate.
I'm
I was her
really,
campaign
really
manager.
excited for her, and her coming on the air, and we'll
Yeah.
have to let you know,
Yeah.
and she can do two at the same time. Ooh,
It's all
that's
about
kinky.
energy.
My mind runs a track, But being self-absorbed and being creating space, okay? Creating space for you is to take a little bit of time for you, a little downtime.
Because something can happen with your clients. There's the black mist in this. You can absorb some of the negativity of your clients, and you might have to deal with it in a certain way. Like Norb's recommend to distance yourself from it. You can probably. Oh, it's so difficult sometimes to deal with people because people come to with solutions that they think can't be solved.
Take out two more.
So,
It's fun.
when you're talking about the mirror and reflexivity.
I am here with Cami Baker, who wrote a book called
Mingle to Millions.
Mingle To Millions, and she travels all over. Give her a call. What's your phone number?
My number or your number?
Your number.
603-785-2598. And you know what? People are so bizarre that they're afraid to give their phone number out. You're in business. You're in business and you don't have your phone number online?
Right.
What's up with that?
Right. Well, mine is, if you need a reading or if you want to come to me, mine is 603-289-4789, or you can call Scott at 785-1684. Hey, I got it right? Oh, well, that's a miracle in itself, And you can go to my website, which is Psychic Visions by Norm. No, Norm's Second World is my website. I also have a Facebook called Spiritual Readings by Norm.
By Reverend Norm.
Yeah, Reverend Norm, right. And my email is secondvisions@comcast.net. So you and I are getting known. Isn't it about time?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
I'm still...
We have a call.
I'm in obscurity. I need...
Hello, welcome to Norm Community Corner.
Hello.
Hi.
snow over there?
No,
Any snow over there?
None?
none.
Well, guess I'll have to have let me see, 10 or 15 truckloads dropped over to you.
No, that's not necessary.
Was it Santa Claus?
Of course, I was always taught to share.
There you go. Well, we don't need that sharing, do we?
No.
No.
No, we don't. My yard looks nice and green, and no, I'm just as happy not having it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mary taught me to share, so I have to share. So we're going to share the snow with the whole city of Manchester.
Well, if it comes, it comes. I'll tell you, I believe that February and March are really going to be hard winter snow.
Yeah.
We
It's
got it
gotta
coming.
be,
Yeah.
but the reason why I'm calling is to find out how your daughter-in-law is doing.
Oh, she's doing. Thank you, Joe. She's doing really well. Thank you. Mary was a godsend to us. Okay.
Excellent. I know she was in a lot of pain because the stupid doctor didn't send her home with any
Yeah.
pain meds.
Right. But
Poor girl.
she's now she's
What you had to go through, my God.
yeah. Well, she's driving a little bit today for the first time.
She could benefit from acupuncture.
Yeah, and I'm just excited
Oh, that's
because
good.
I miss her coming over every other day. But she's doing extremely well. Thank you.
So that's excellent. Glad to hear it, though.
Yeah. Mary was our
You're welcome.
Mary was our guardian angel.
Yeah. She drove Mike and Tammy up to the hospital
right.
and back, and
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
been very supportive, and we support her too.
awesome.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But just wanted to call to find out
Okay.
any more good
Well,
news on Tammy. And
Yeah, she's driving. She
hopefully
started
she'll-
driving back around again. So I'm looking forward to her coming to my house.
As long as she doesn't overdo it,
Yeah. Well, we don't let.
Take
Well,
a day at a time, and she don't overdo it,
Yeah. No, I don't. She won't, because my son gets right on her. She starts to overdo it. My son is spoiling her, which is a good thing, and it actually brought them closer together. So that's a good thing.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Yeah,
for
it
your
is. It's always a good thing.
right. Well, thank you for your call. I'll pass it on to her.
All righty. Please do, Norm.
I sure will. Yeah. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.
2 more cards. Norm.
Okay.
My meter runs out in 9 minutes.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
What within? Well, you're getting a lot of that stuff within.
guess.
Huh?
I
The
guess.
spirit is really talking to you. I want you to truly look within yourself. You don't need to have all that criticism around you. You know what you're doing is right on path. Some constructed, yeah, but with also blah, 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 because half the time they don't want to or know what the hell that they don't want to hear, only what they want to hear. That's like when I do readings. You know what I'm saying? They all want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to hear what you want to tell them or need to tell them. Okay? And look within your own self. But don't criticize yourself. You're too critical. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Know that what you're doing is through the Spirit. Know that what you're doing, we're all out to make money. I'm Jewish, so I like to make money, But I'm Jewish and Scott. I make it this way and I cry this way, But look within your heart. Look at what you're being, knowing that you are on the right path. Write that new book. And you're going to say, when am I going to find the time? But you will, okay? When it is there. Like I said, I see you going to Wisconsin. You have a passport? And I see you doing some lectures in Canada, too. 20 and 21 to 22 are going to be busy, more busy than you ever thought you would be. You're going to have to hire a manager to keep your books, keep it for you. Then you can't. And you might even hire your daughter. I'm so blessed. I'm so excited for you and your daughter. Look at the beginning, the
Yeah.
breakthrough that you two have. Isn't it wonderful?
It's wonderful. It really is.
Does she have a boyfriend?
No.
Okay. You're not really ready for a true relationship right now because you're still working within you.
I get
You
that.
know what it's like to have a bad relationship. you know, and you're not going to do that again.
Mm.
You don't want someone that's going to go to a meeting because you want them to go.
Mm.
It doesn't work. Okay. I do see you doing between 1,500 and to 2,000 and a couple of different shows.
Mm.
And you're ready to do that, right? Go in the back way. To actually see people like a bodyguard or whatever walking around. That's cool, you know. I want you to know that success is yours. Don't procrastinate.
Mm.
Here we go again.
Breakthrough.
See how it's all coming into what the other spirit leads? And the breakthrough is you've got a whole new beginning. You can't tell I'm gay, right? You know, with a whole new beginning. Like with John here. John has a whole lot of changes because he's realizing that the trash that he's been through has got to be thrown away. Now he's learning how to be more beginning within himself.
Mm.
Okay? He's learning to say, you know what, I'm an okay person. You're going to be co-hosting a lot, by the way, if you don't mind.
If I'm still around.
Oh, you'll be around. You'll be around for 100 years. You plan on
I'd be
moving
lucky to
every
make
area?
it one.
No, no.
One more.
But,
We'll see.
Yeah.
No, I was never good on the future.
What's the next chapter for you, John?
I'm not quite sure. My problem
Find
is
the peace
playing
within
craps
yourself.
with life. You know, you
Yeah.
throw the dice. If you crap out, that's just part of it. Then you walk away from the table, but then you have to come back.
But no,
It's always beginning and starting again.
I don't see you. You're always going to have that type of journey. You're going to hit rock, but then you're going to but a stronger and better person. You've got to write your novel.
Oh, Norm.
You've got, don't you agree?
You know, do it the easy way. Make videos and have them transcribed. That's how I wrote my book.
Well, I'm a writer.
Yeah. And,
But
pick out two
Norm,
more.
you could do it. You could, if you did videos, people love your personality. Do videos and it'd be a lot easier too.
Here's an unusual deck. You have a black velvet deck, Canadian whiskey.
That's an old deck. That's about 10 years old.
There must be a lot of energy in here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they spelt the Canadian way with a Y.
Crone. In other words, the main of success is within you. The crone, the heart, the meaning of the old soul, the meaning is all within you. Okay.
The crone is a muse, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will be writing another book
Yeah.
and creating. Yeah.
You're not a feminist. You're a person. You follow your own beat to the drum, and what they call it, you know. And you are very strong and motivating. Okay. I actually see, flying, I don't know what's in Chicago. Are you ready to, I do see, like, this is your year, the next 2 years for you, flying. Your business partner, not so much as you're going to be.
Do you do stuff in the Midwest?
I'll do it anywhere they need me.
Okay.
When the price is right, we go.
I have to go now, but can I ask you a
Yeah,
question?
sure.
Your accent, are you originally from somewhere in North Carolina?
I was born in Key West, but I grew up in Georgia and Florida.
Georgia, because my father, your accent was so familiar. Because my father lived a lot. He either lived in Asheville, North Carolina, and Charlotte, and Atlanta.
My mother lives in a town called Waycross, 75 miles
Waycross.
north of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And there is a distinct accent there that they don't have anywhere else. Very
Because your
different.
accent, it's like, oh, I've got to try to place it. Because when I was in the military intelligence, we actually would shoot azimuths to find out where the Russians were. It's like, oh, North Carolina. Then you mentioned Florida. And is she from the Panhandle?
Panhandle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a great accent.
Thank you.
And and I have a show before Norm. I'd
And what's
love
it
to
called?
have you on too.
What's it called?
Ward 13.
Ward
Because
13.
I was into politics. But it can be Ward 13 like in a mental hospital too. You know?
Oh, I've been there before. No.
I've avoided that so far. But great seeing you, Norm.
You too, John.
Great meeting you, Cami.
Thanks, John.
But
Nice to meet you,
I
too.
don't want to balance the Manchester budget with my $10.
No.
So I'm still waiting for those royalty checks.
Yeah, you know what? I don't believe in parking, paying for parking.
You don't?
No.
You believe in paying tickets?
No, what I'm saying is, I don't think we should have to pay downtown to park.
Well, that's politics, Norm. If only we could get our powers of obfuscation.
I can remember when
so-
it used to be a nickel and a penny.
That's a
Geez,
huge
even-
revenue they're taking in with that.
When our mayor was an alder 4 years ago, she told me the only reason Manchester was balancing the budget was the meter maids and car registrations. But it was so great meeting you.
Same here.
You know,
Take care.
yeah, we'll see you
Bye.
later, John.
Yeah.
Courage. This is all fitting right into you.
Mm.
Now you're building the courage up to be more successful for you.
Well, 16 years ago when I did Landmark, I stepped into owning my power and becoming a powerful person. And I have so much confidence and I'm so fearless that it can come across as arrogant or cocky when one of your comments was that I know what I'm doing. I know that this stuff works. And it's people are having a hard time with that paradigm shift. And I don't know why, because it's all for the better. But
Because sometimes your voice becomes really strong when you get at it. When you get going the way you want to get going, your voice becomes very strong. This is what you can do, and this is how we're going to do it. And so sometimes we have to refocus. Have you heard anything from Mary?
I don't think she's going to be able to pick us up.
Okay, you want to get Tammy a call?
so when's your book going to be ready?
Probably in a year.
You actually sitting down writing it?
I'm starting from what I can remember and how I got into it. From even though I was abused and beaten, I always still have my my spiritual beliefs.
Yeah.
And I can always remember one day, it was on Christmas Eve. I wore these pajamas with moccasin slippers, and my foster mother. We went up to the church, and I'm course, and I will always believe this is where I got my encouragement from. My foster mother I've been in several foster homes. Always had good ones, very lucked out, and they taught me how to walk. They taught me how to, at 4 years old, I was able to say my first word.
Huh.
And they said I never shut up since. But that's true. And because I had polio when I was a kid.
Wow.
And the signs of it. But you know what? It makes us who we are.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. One thing I want you to do is when you're driving, be a little more alert. I'm concerned about somebody trying to shove you off the road. Okay. And when you get going at a clip, you can really get going. So I think that's important. And your book is called
Mingle to Millions.
Mingle to Millions. And is it on Amazon?
It is.
And can they order it directly from you too on your website?
Actually, I would prefer that they order it directly from me because now there are copies that are being pirated and people are buying copies that I'm not actually sending out and they're not being signed. So if they get them straight from me, then it'll get signed.
And what's your website?
CamiBaker.com. Yeah.
Okay. And when you said now you put your schedule where you're going to be appearing.
I do, yeah. I actually got a couple of things going on in February, and I'm going to London in June.
All
I'm
right.
doing 2 speaking engagements in the UK in June.
It's going to be worth your while. Okay. Isn't it fun to expand?
Oh, yeah.
Never
been to Europe. I can't wait. I want to go visit some castles.
Yeah. And I'm going to be, and that's like, I am so blessed. I have done readings on people from England. I've done them from Russia. I've done them from Uruguay, and I've done them from Spain, Argentina, Italy. I've been very united. I think I really enjoy what I do.
So at your event in September, what all is going to be going on there?
Well, I'm still in the process of it. I've got a young girl and her crew are going to be doing a fire eating show.
Huh, very cool.
Yeah, and I have a friend of mine who, if he's well enough, he's going to come and play the flute. And I'm still working on having different people come in, and like I said, I'm going to be traveling, putting more and more. I want to make it one of the best that I can make it. I want to have an area where people can come in. We're going to be having popcorn and hot dogs. We have our own popcorn that was donated to us. We have a food, and I'm not going to have raffles. It doesn't pay. I may do a 50-50, but as far as raffles go, no, I end up giving stuff away. So I'm not going to be doing that. You know what I mean? If people have things they want to donate, like that, something like a raffle, a grab bag or whatever, that's fine. And what I'm thinking about doing is having see what you think about this, having a basket, or a bag, put them all these different prices, grab bags, and they pay, we'll say $1 to grab a present or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
They won't know what it is, just to put it in
yeah.
like that. I think that's more entertaining.
Yeah.
But folks, I make no money. I don't want to make any money. Every money that goes into it will go into my event. I was doing a 50-50 with the readers, but that's not going to happen anymore, because if a reader doesn't get any readings, then I don't get any money. Okay, so we're going to do whatever. I can't say the fee. Well, if anybody's interested in becoming a vendor on here, please Facebook me and let me know, and I'll be very happy to do that. And we're going to have Tammy maybe talking to them all, Tammy, and maybe give it a quick half-hour lecture before the things start or whatever. And it's going to be from 10 to 4. Okay, and
So
believe me,
the nonprofit, it needs food and stuff for the shelter. Is it an actual shelter or what?
No, it's we pay for veterinarian bills.
Pay for vet bills.
Okay, like if we hook up, we'll say someone has to go to the vets with their dog, and we're hooked up with a certain vet, or we'll tell them where they're going to take their dog. The vet will call us, and we'll pay for it. The limit is going to be, I think, around $3,000, up to that, once we get it going good. Like I said, I really got it going, and I've got to get back into it. My spirit's been yelling at me. So I'm looking for a whole new board of directors, because I don't want to be on the board of directors anymore. I just want to be the founder and behind the scenes. I work better behind the scenes. Do you work better behind the scenes?
No.
You got to be on board.
I'm the front man.
Okay. I like behind the scenes, and I will be doing readings, and we used to have it 50-50. We'd have someone who would collect the money and all that stuff, but I found this easier to charge a certain fee, then that people can go into whoever they want. And we'll have a schedule there where each reader is going to be there and they can pick up what they are. And right now I've got 3 readers, so I need 3 more. I would like to have up to like I said, between 30 and 40 vendors.
Well, there's a huge spiritual community. I'm sure they're lined up to read there with you.
Yeah,
People
I've
love
worked
it.
very hard to be where I'm at today, and I enjoy it, but I did have to take a sabbatical.
So the vendors, like people selling crystals,
Whatever they got.
whatever.
Yeah, whether it's crystal, whether it's jewelry, whether it's homemade gems. That's why I don't call it a psychic event. I call it a spiritual event. Because then, if they sell vegetables, they want to come and they want to have, because there's plenty of parking space. And the one thing I want other people to know, that it is free. That you come in there, you don't pay an admissions fee. Okay, and we might be having an auction.
Auction.
I have a friend that they own, that person that owns the building. Her son is an auctioneer.
Well, since it benefits animals, are you going to open it up for people to bring their pets?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also would like to, if people are there, I would like to open it up for dog groomers, set up a bucket where they can groom the dogs and share them and stuff like that, and then grooming gets an X amount of dollars or whatever.
Have photographer taking pictures with the puppies and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to get people come in taking pictures. I have a friend who's a hypnotherapist, and he also will broadcast, and I think I'm going to be, and I'll be broadcasting it on Facebook as well, And if they don't come, it's their loss.
One of my clients a couple of years ago, her dog passed away while we were putting together an event for her, so she decided to do something around celebrating her dog's life. And she was telling me about her dog, and she said her dog's name was Laddie, and
Is that Judy Farr?
Yeah.
She was on my show.
Oh, that's right. She was when I was working with her. Yeah, so Friends of Laddie was born, and she's done 2 of them now. The first one that we did, it was outside, and it was so windy. The tents were literally coming off the ground. But the dog agility course that was there said they had an indoor course. And so the next year, which was last October, they did it inside at their dog agility course.
And she and I have friends on Facebook. I'm going to have to invite her to the event, too.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, folks, if you have something that you want to sell, you can reach me on Facebook. I can't remember.
You got so many of them.
Right, you know, Spiritual Readings by Norm, or you can go to Norman Mooney on Facebook, where I've also been doing shows on YouTube, because I download them onto YouTube, which will be probably Monday of next week. Your show will be on, okay? And we'll be doing a lot more Facebook shows at my office, and I love doing them, don't you?
Yeah.
I like getting out there. I like having people come in, and one of the things that I do like is like, I had a friend that come in. We did a Father's Right show, you know, and like you said, not everybody has the right to see their children, and I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is when they're faithfully paying their child support and the mother interferes with it when they shouldn't. But there are some people that just should not be seeing their children. I totally agree with that.
I agree too, for sure.
Well, you were a single parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, wasn't easy, was it?
No, and actually, her father is in her life more than I am, and it's when the parent is drinking every day and negative and jaded and just
Get a hold of Tammy.
it's always good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so and that's the cool thing about it. You know, I won't say that my ex-wife was active in my son's life. I won't say that. Okay, but when she bought him something, though, she couldn't tell her husband. You know.
Huh.
You know. I also
That's
knew.
crazy. So you raised him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was my boy to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, Daddy, Mommy, they won't let me do this. I'd be at work. He'd call me at work. He used to sit up until I come home from work, too. You know, I'm so blessed. But they said, you're gay. How can you do that? And I thought, how does anybody make a child? You know what I mean? At that time, I did not accept the fact that it was gay. You know, I went to a born-again Christian church, and I did all these right things.
Have you ever watched Grace and Frankie on Netflix?
Yeah.
Have you seen the new season where the lesbian couple is wanting to have a baby, so they ask Grace's daughter's boyfriend yeah. They're using a turkey baster. Yeah.
But you know, the one thing that people don't understand, even if the father, and it might be a lesbian couple, the father actually has parental rights. They can take it to court if they want to. You know, and that's the one thing they have to sign off on. I have a friend of mine who mother had him, but they don't know, a test tube baby. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever want to do something like that. What do you say to the child?
Have you heard of the doctors who have impregnated 40, 50, 60 women with their own sperm instead of the donors?
Yeah, they had you ever watched I watched the Law and Order, they had it on there. Then I watched the Justice Station, and they were showing how this man had umpteen kids and all that and stuff like that, you know.
Boy, talk about a narcissist. Impregnating all those women with your own sperm? Crazy.
And she had cleaning ladies back.
Ah, well, at least she's cleaning.
So, what's your next event?
My next event is in Chamber of Commerce down towards the South Shore later on in February.
So what do you do in the meantime?
So I've got clients that are doing different events. So for example, one of my clients is in Worcester, and there's a breast cancer group and then the Worcester Animal Rescue League. So they've partnered together to do an event. And the Animal Rescue League needs all kinds of stuff: toys, food, kitty litter, bedding, whatever. They got a whole list of stuff, even hand sanitizer for the volunteers, right? So we've got 10 different businesses that are all drop-off locations for these items. So we go around to each of the businesses and we do a Facebook Live, and we let people know, hey, this is Norm, he loves animals, he's got this box, bring your donation, 123 Main Street. And so different things like that, where we're helping the different businesses to promote themselves because of the Animal Rescue League.
And people gear more to the animals than they do to people.
Yeah.
Well, Cami, I have to thank you for coming on. And don't forget, you'll be coming on with an acupuncture. We'll find out first when she's coming on so we can.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
you know?
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that I'd feel that way from it, but I'm telling you, they put anywhere they put them, anywhere, within 5 minutes, I'm in another zone.
That's pretty awesome, isn't
Yeah.
it? And that, you know, I like promoting other fields like businesses and stuff like that. I think we need to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I like.
Well, and they're a nonprofit. Their mission is to provide acupuncture to people who can afford it, you know, and that's why instead of $150 a session, 15 to 35.
And now I think I have a feeling that they'll be at my event too. Well, I've got a big event, so you and I are going to keep in contact to help me grow. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, and what your name of your book again?
Mingle to Millions.
Okay, and that can be on your website.
CamiBaker.com.
Okay, and folks, I Jesus, Norman's Second World is my website, but you can get a hold of me on Facebook. Norm Moody, Reverend Spiritual Readings by Reverend Norm, and my email Second Visions by Norm.
Lord, that's confusing.
Isn't it, huh? I had to write them all down so I can remember them. But anyway, remember every day, folks, you're not a loser, you're a winner. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good week.